In everyone's lives, there are moments that challenge us. There are moments that are scary, moments that strike terror deep within us, in a place that we never knew existed. These moments create steel walls around you, trapping you within them, rendering you completely immobile. Fortitude is what happens when you break through those walls. The first of these moments in my life, I was 11, maybe 12. Standing in the hallway of my middle school, I heard his voice. I literally froze. I had no idea what to do. My first instinct was to run. He was a kid who'd sexually harassed me and threatened me after getting relocated to a different school the year before. He scared me in a way I had never experienced. He took everything from me, and I let him. I stood in that hallway, scanning for doors, my heart beating so loudly I was sure everyone could hear it. With my pulse pounding, I set my jaw, turned, and walked by, staring him down in the process. That was the day I took everything back. The second, I was on the wings of a darkened stage. False eyelashes impeded my sight. My hair was pulled so tightly, it pulled the sides of my face with it, and my costume cast a disco ball of sparkles whenever light hit it. My stomach churned, and I was sure I was going to vomit. I was 18. It was January. I was about to go on stage for my very first solo performance. My headphones were pushed deep into my ears, blasting rap music at a ridiculous level while I breathed slowly in through my nose and out through my mouth. I was going to vomit. I walked anxiously back and forth, shaking out my limbs. B.O.B.'s "I Am the Champion" came blasting into my ears. I closed my eyes and tried to let it sink in as I paced. I blew out the last breath, removed my headphones, walked up the stairs and onto the stage. I wiggled my fingers at my side, removing the last of my nervous energy. When they stopped, I was ready. The music came on, and I danced. An hour later, I collected my trophy. That was the day I believed in myself again. The third was in a tattoo parlor. I was 19. I'd pondered a tattoo that commemorated my commitment to owning and overcoming the things that I feared most. But I was conveniently terrified of getting a tattoo. But I decided that cool day in September, after 4 consultations, was finally the day. "You're back," the guy at the desk said when I walked in. They led me to a booth in the back, and I sat down, nodding at all the information the artist was giving me. As he held my wrist in his gloved hands, the tattoo gun poised over my virgin skin, he looked at me. "Are you ready?" I took a breath. I nodded firmly, and the needle bit softly into my skin. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. That was the day I knew I could do anything. The fourth was in Lambert Airport when I was 20. It was gray outside. The TVs were all tuned to CNN with alternating coverage of the storm ravaging the eastern seaboard and the NSA's prying tendencies. My flight was delayed an hour. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I internally panicked. In less than 24 hours, I would touch down in a foreign country, alone, for a month. And that was assuming that my plane didn't fall out of the sky somewhere over the North Atlantic, blow up on takeoff, and that I entered Greece uninhibited. My heartbeat pounded in my head, and they finally called my flight. Trying to calm my hyperventilating breaths, I handed the attendant my ticket. He smiled at me. I walked the airwalk, my footsteps echoing around me. Sitting in my seat on the smallest plane I'd ever boarded, I squeezed my eyes shut and ran my finger across my wrist as if I could feel my tattoo. The engines roared beneath me, and we were airborne. After 30 minutes, we descended into Chicago. Striding across the terminal, I boarded my next flight immediately. The small German boy next to me translated the Lufthansa instructions, seemingly for fun, because they were also in English, and gave me an encouraging smile. My fingers found the words on my wrist again. The engine thundered to life somewhere on either side of me, and then I was in the air once again. 18 hours later, we touched down in Germany, and 2 hours later in Greece. That was the day I started believing in fortitude.